Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the Cigar Box guitar back on the bench today. This is part two. I knocked the nut out because the thing was like, the string action was humongous, and if you tried to play anything from the nut or the first fret to the fifth fret, it would just pull it right out of tune. So I'm going to try to lower that down, and as suspected, as I was fearful of, when it knocked out, somebody used wood glue to put a piece of wood nut in there to keep the theme of the Cigar Box guitar intact. It's the folk art aspect of it. But I cleaned out the channel. We're going to chip this down and clean it up a little bit, and we're going to reattach it. And hopefully that will lower the action. And if I need to lower it any further than that, we're just going to cut nut slots like we normally do with a file of some sort. So let's get to work. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. I really appreciate all of you that have been following me throughout the years. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, the nut was in there sort of like that. And it didn't even fit in there right because there was a humongous gap on the bottom. So not only am I going to have to shave the height of it down, I'm going to have to actually bring the thickness of it down slightly so that it actually fits in that channel that somebody had somehow cut out there. I don't know how they did that, but they didn't do a very good job. That's all I can say. But I digress. We're on it. We're going to make it play better. This thing will never sound like a Les Paul or a Fender, but it's going to make sound, it's going to make music, and I have every confidence that it will. So I have already cleaned out the channel, so I know that I have to first get down just ever so slightly. The thickness of this thing does not want to go down in the channel, and I don't like that. I want it to go down all the way down in the channel because the gap that was there might catch up enough string action that will be good. I'm going to eyeball it, but yeah, I think that first and foremost, I'm going to take it to the grinder in the shop, and I'm going to shave some off of it. Stand by. So, you can see we've been chipping away at all kinds of stuff here. I have got it to where I think it's going to be far more acceptable. Goes against every fiber of my being as a guitar technician, builder, call me what you want. This is so haphazard, but I am going to glue it in there, and we're going to make this guitar. I know it's way lower. The string action was like that. Now it's down there where it might be measurable and negotiable. So, which is only going to make it play better. And then the next measurement we're going to take is, to get to where I want to place the saddle. You can see I have some tape here where I had moved it. It was all the way up here, and you couldn't get any kind of tuning out of it. I guesstimated and kept moving it down. I think we're getting closer. It may need to even come down farther, but we'll get to that. I'm going to clean up my mess here real quick. So I'll put on your mute button. I apologize for that. Oh, and by the way, I dug up out of my own. I was going to try to cut down a bone nut for it, and I said, why? Why are you going to do that? This is what it needs to have in there, and it needs to play better with this because it fits with the motif of this little instrument, this little Cigar Box guitar. So Now what we have to do is put some glue on there and actually hold it, because it's not going to glue much down on here. There isn't a lot there to grab a hold of because this is very fibrous wood, and they used so much glue down in the track that it just chipped away a bunch of wood. But I know that I can get it to adhere to this clean surface, which I was able to sand off on the face of the fretboard. So I am going to glue that on there, and to save a few minutes, because I'm going to have to glue it and hold it like a dolt while my CA glue kicks off. So stand by. So yeah, we're back. Wow, it took a lot of work to get this nut back down to where it's going to give us some string action, a lower string action. If I have to fill or cut down, we're good there. Same thing down here with the, well, let's call it a saddle. In an alternate universe, it might be considered a saddle. I was also taking measurements from point to point. On a guitar, you want about 25.5 inches. Now, the other day, this is all the way down to 27 inches. 25.5 is up here somewhere, to get intonation so that we can move to get intonation. We're going to get there. It took quite a bit to shave this down, get it glued and set in there. This guitar is something else. That's all I can say. Let's get some strings on it. What do we got going here? I'm putting some new strings on because these we've used and used and used too many times. I don't want to keep putting them on there. A couple of these are, you can see the color differential. Two of them are phosphor bronze. One of them is a regular. I was kind of going measuring off of what came on the guitar, but these are probably not going to live on there forever either. But let's see what happens. So I'm going to split the difference. I have a little measurement mark here. This is where I was the other day before I, tried to lower the saddle nut height. And I was moving this up and down trying to tune it. This guy actually wants to play this guitar at a gig and, make music with it. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to start where I was, and then if we have to, move it forward as we start to measure intonation and what have you. You follow? This little guitar has put me through my paces. Interesting, fun, yeah, I get it. It's all well and good. Probably a little too much there. Bend it down there a little bit. I don't think we need that much string. Yeah. I don't think it'll take it. So there's actually a bevel on this, so it carries back to the bridge. And floating saddles are always fun. You don't like to stay where you put them. Until you get string tension on them. I'm hoping my nut fabrication repair doesn't go wonky on me. I'm going to snip these off and leave a little extra because I'm sure that I'm going to be putting them on, taking them off a few times. I'm going to pause while I get the other two strings on, and then we're going to start checking some measurements. Stand by. So here we are. We're pretty much done with this. We can't get any intonation with it. It just is what it is. This is a Cigar Box guitar. It is not gonna, be what you pull out of your Fender case. Yep. It'll never ever hold tune perfectly. It is what it is. It's a Cigar Box. Probably wants to be on the wall hanging up somewhere. I'll tell you, it's a million times better than it was the other day. When I first got it, you couldn't even play it. I mean, at least I got some string action out of it. And it'll play a 12-bar blues between the 1st fret and the 7th fret. I don't know what goes on up here. This guitar I'm going to tell you, it's not designed to play up here. But we got it playing in the money zone, up to the 7th fret. It's going to be what it is. I can't play this thing. So the strings are half an inch spacing, but at least it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's playing. If you tuned it up to E, A, and D, you can play right here if you really want to. I don't really want to, but we did the best we could. We took a wall art, basically, and turned it into something that will actually make some music if you're, stay within a certain range. It's not a Stratocaster. It's not even a Telecaster. It's not even a $50 guitar online, but something new today. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.